I know I only made one episode or video. I don't know why I said episode. Nukitashi is still much on the brain. But when it comes down to it, though, I had made one video talking about the amazing digital circus, mainly because people were hella horny for Pomni, which I understand that now with evil Pomni and Pomni the evil and in this recent episode. Very much I get it, right? Pomni's about bad as hell. Let's just keep it very much a stack. We all cracking Pomni at the end of the day. I think that's fair. But I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think I was gonna talk about the show. I didn't think I was gonna talk about the show. But then there is elements to this where I actually feel pain, and I can very much relate to a lot of what Ragatha is going through. And even a slight bit of Jax was just weird and crazy. Granted, first of all, the episode was amazing. Peak as hell, right? I have never seen such cookery be done in a long time in shows like these. So, this is some very good cookery when it comes down to it, right? Very much so. It was hella entertaining. Kinger is just OP as hell, too, right? Man's busted as hell. Everybody's seeming like they're about to glitch out and, very much be on some type of timing. It very much seems that that's going to be the case, but we'll see how that kind of goes. But that's not what I want to talk about. I really want to talk about Ragatha and her whole situation and a slight bit of Jax, because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I feel that heavily, where she basically was going on about how she feel like she's letting people down, how she doesn't know what she really wants for herself, being nice to people all the time, and, just feel like really no one truthfully understands who she is. Like, I get that a lot, right? Very much I do. Because I also feel the very same way about not wanting to let people down, not feeling understood regardless of how much you explain to people or you try to. The words just don't come out exactly the way it should. And ultimately, it just leads into further complications. Everybody else have an answer for you as to what you are, what they think of you, and things like that. But it's not really a notion of what you have for yourself. It's a terrible feeling, to be honest. And then ultimately, when I said some videos back about, not having expectations of people, that's where that builds up. And then that's where the Jax part of things kind of come in. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to things like that, when people is not understanding who you are and not necessarily getting everything about you, and even though you're trying to explain the best way you can, it's still not working, you just get despondent. You just don't care. You just stop caring about everything, right? And granted, Jack's situation is a bit more different because, I assume what the plot of his is basically he lost two people to abstraction, and so that's why he puts up at the front with, not really giving a shit, even though he very much does. But when it comes down to me, at least if I can add myself into it, it's just again where that's where the whole having low expectations of everything kind of kicks in from. Because again, no one really truthfully understands. Things keep happening no matter how much you try to, you might want to prevent something, or you might want to say what it is, and then no one really understands you. And so ultimately, what's the point of even trying at that point, right? I ain't gonna sit here and lie. This episode very much hit home for me hard, right? Even just trying to make this for a video and just trying to talk about this is kind of difficult, high key, because again, very much more so on Ragatha's side and that little bit of Jax. That is again how I've been feeling for I don't even remember how long at this point. It's just how it is. Because I'm not gonna lie, there's probably tons of other people, including myself, that very much don't know exactly what the future holds. You know where you want to go, what you should do, how you can, benefit not only yourself but other people. And then ultimately you just can't get there. Not because you're not trying, but because literally life will not let you proceed any further, right? It's just confusing at the end of the day. Because for me, it's like, very much so, I know this channel should be able to do something, should be able to pass where it should be able to go, reach tons of people in ways I can imagine it can. But it's like, also at the same time, no matter what is happening and how hard I try, it's not working out the way I would hope it would. I'm not giving up, but it's just like, it's a long battle, right? Because I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Just to be real, almost doing this for 6 years, that's a long time. It is very much a long-winded time. And not necessarily knowing if everything's gonna work out in the way you hope it would is a lot more stressful than people actually think, right? You know, and that's just how it is. And then especially when you're also feeling like you don't really have anybody to talk to, or, you know, you don't necessarily feel right within yourself at times, and things of the sort like that. It's like, it adds up with all that other stuff too, right? And people, I feel like, a lot of the time do take very much advantage of the fact that, you know, they might be a bit more better off than other people, or they have people to actually talk to, and not necessarily understanding what actual loneliness actually feels like, and things like that, right? Or just being stressed out all the time, having a lot of pressure on yourself, essentially trying to take care of everything and everyone, and no one really seems to understand why you feel that way, or why you put so much pressure down on yourself, or whatever. When it comes down to it, it's just a fight that very much not a lot of people seem to understand, or at least people, takes them 5 million years for them to understand that you are putting very much a lot of pressure on yourself when it comes down to it. Like, again, something very much in Ragatha's situation that I relate to a lot, right? Which also now makes me understand why I had those weird migraines at times when it comes down to it too. Because a lot of the stress and pressure that I do put on myself when it comes down to it. Because I don't know. I don't know. And again, I don't know what this video even is. Is this therapy? I don't know. But that's part of the reason, I guess, why I do content creation. To be honest, that's probably the most of the reason why I do so. Because I don't have friends. I had them. Then we kind of all dipped off, and no one ever bothered to check on me again. So that's that. Then at the end of the day, you know, ultimately, nothing else really pops off after that. And yeah, obviously I've talked to a lot of you guys online, but it's not enough, I would say, right? It's a weird place to kind of just be put in. And to be honest, I don't know if I should be sharing this online, because high key, this is very personal, and possibly the most open I've ever really felt when it comes down to it, because I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't. All I'm trying to do is just make this to be something. Something I can look back on and say, hey, we actually did this thing, and, you know, everything actually worked out fine, and I can actually take care of people and stuff like that. But we ain't in that position, and I don't understand why not, right? Plus, my parents are getting old and stuff like that too. I don't want to just be still stuck in this place, and then they pass on or something like that, and then I was never able to do anything, and that's just how it is, and all that other stuff too. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of this stuff adds up a lot. It's difficult, to be honest. But that's what made that episode, or at least Ragatha's situation, so real for me, because I get it, right? And I'm pretty sure other people do too. But I absolutely get it. honestly, because there is a lot of pressure that a lot of people don't understand that people put on themselves. They very much don't think about that at all. When you just say you're okay, you're not really okay. You just pretend to be so, or no one really cares to actually prod that information out of you, because you know the moment you do, you open up, they forget about it in 5 seconds and not really consider how you feel at all when it comes down to it, no matter what the situation is or how alone you are. Maybe that's also the reason why I rush out too, and well, not rush out because I haven't done it, but like maybe that's the reason why I'm like very open to find or be with somebody in a point, right? I don't know. Right, I've never been in that position, never had, but still, it's, I guess, something, right? And maybe that's what Ragatha feels too. Maybe she doesn't necessarily feel like she's cared for or anything like that when it comes down to it. Maybe she tries to be nice to people, so people, that's the whole actual point. She'd be so nice to people to the point she doesn't want to let people go. And then when, you know, but ultimately part of that is what make her be in the position that she's in. And it's just not good. Not that you need to be mean to people, but not really also saying what you really need to say is also a troubling problem too. Which, granted, that's the one problem I can say I don't have. I do say what needs to be said. But then when people don't listen, it does build up to that problem where it's like, yeah, it's kind of right back at the same place now, isn't it? Wow, I did not think I was going to expose myself this much in this video. I won't lie, it's hard. A lot of this stuff is hard. And I probably, again, shouldn't be so open about this type of stuff in these sort of videos. And this comes off more like a venting video than anything. But I get it. This is because, again, this has been something I've been feeling for a long time, and the fact that Ragatha, of all people, the actual character I really didn't care for at all in the beginning, that actually said what I've been feeling for a long time, to the point it makes me actually emotional. It's weird. It's a weird feeling, right? It's very strange, and I can't believe how much she got that right. That damn Ragatha, rag having ass, bum ass, rich bimbo. Somehow, I don't understand. I don't get how she got me like that. But it is what it is when it comes down to it. I don't have a piece of advice to give you for this one in this video, or I don't know how a way to make this video end, you know, happier or anything like that. But all I can really say is this episode hits hard for me personally, because I, again, very much understand everything that Ragatha goes through. I feel that every single day, and the back of my neck tells me, because sometimes the migraines like to play, you know, to play with my emotions, talking about some, hey, we might F you up today, it might be today. It ain't easy. It's really not. To be honest, as cheesy and cringe as it might sound, being human is hard. It's not the easiest thing on the planet. It's by far one of the hardest things I've seen, and people that still keep going and still push forward, even if nothing ever really gets solved or anything like that, that's a lot of damn strength. A lot more strength than, you know, what people would normally associate strength with. I don't know. I guess that's really what I was trying to say. I don't know. And then times when you actually, again, try to explain everything, you feel empty in the inside, and you beg basically to understand why people don't understand you, and it's not a good feeling, and it makes you despondent, and then expectations are low. I don't want expectations to be low, truthfully, but they just are, or at least I feel like I have to keep it low, because if I don't, then I don't know. It feels like getting hurt all over again, or you're letting pain back in or something like that. It's not a good feeling. Like I said before, I go down that route personally, but it's not something I would recommend for everybody to do, or really anybody to do, because it sucks. It's not a fun existence. You know what I really want, to keep it very much a stack. You know what I really want, to be truthful with you. It would be nice to share time with somebody, especially in person for me, right? That would be like high key one of the best things for me when it comes down to it, is to share that time with someone, to actually be open and truthful and say what you need to actually say, and the other person understands. Because I'm not gonna lie, again, reason why I did this channel is because for a long time it felt like within these four walls, anytime I say anything, it feels like my opinion or my thoughts do not matter, and ultimately it drives me insane, kinda, you know. And that's why it's like, oh, thank goodness for YouTube, thank goodness for this channel for you guys, because high key, I don't know if I would be able to handle it, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, there's been moments where I've crashed out on this exact same reason, and I just try to do everything I can to not say anything and to keep everything inside, and usually be silent, which granted, that's kind of how I always been silent. Granted, you wouldn't imagine that because how much wild and stuff I say on this channel, but in reality, I'm pretty much quiet. If I'm quiet, that means I'm pretty much thinking and stuff like that, psychology and all that sort of stuff. You're probably gonna look up easily to associate with that, but that's just how it is for me. Not because I want to, but because that's just how it's kind of always been. And it would be nice to just talk with a nice lady or someone, just in general, to kind of just push this out in the open, get it out there, get it done, and just feel okay, I guess. Because half the time, honestly, I don't know what the hell do I want. Even if I were to make this channel into something bigger and actually be able to financially be sustainable with it and all this sort of stuff, because again, finance is like the one big problem that I obviously do have, is just not being able to get anything when it comes down to it and take care of the things that need to be taken care of. It just, there's so much. I feel like when it comes down to it, for me and other people too, that feels this exact same way. It's not just one thing. There are so many things that very much is an issue that we all probably feel. And essentially, it's not anything that can just be solved immediately. Or at least it probably could, but it just, life just don't do it like that for whatever reason. And I don't get it. But that's just how it is. And then essentially, I don't know. I don't know. To me, personally, what will make me happier in life personally is to not feel like I failed anyone or myself or anything like that. It'll be to actually have people around, people personally, in general, when it comes down to it too, to actually feel like you're worth something, I guess. Because I feel like that's what it comes down to me, and probably Ragatha as well. I don't know. I just, maybe that's what it is. Because high key, as much as, and I probably shouldn't say this because ultimately I know how people can be like, oh, then I don't have to, do anything when it comes down to it. But I still do need to help, which is, you know, thing of the financial side of things. Like, I don't care about money to the highest extent. I don't care, dude. I most of the time when I'll do things just to help the house and whatever, I usually give half all that money away to like what my mom needs it to go through and all that sort of stuff. I hardly ever save for myself unless I really need something like a laptop or something, which I still need to find a way to do so. But that's like the only times. I hardly ask for anything high key. But, you know, what matters to me most is having people around you, having the right kind of people, I guess, when it comes down to it, right? Sharing like thoughts and actual emotions to other people and actually feel like you matter to somebody, I guess. I think to me that's the big thing. And I think that's also the reason why I want this channel to grow and why I haven't gave up on the dream despite it being almost 6 years of it. Is because I just want to feel like I can belong somewhere, I guess, and people can see me for what I am actually. I think that's what it is. Well, it's just a multitude of things. And it's hard to actually get that, I guess. I don't know. Sorry for not talking during these like moments. I'm probably not gonna edit this at all because I don't want to hear myself talk about this. But it's rough. It's just rough when no one's there. And when basically no one sees what you're actually going through and how you actually feel. It's a time. It's very much a time. I remember recently, I don't know if y'all know Stario HD. He made a video basically talking about, me and essentially saying how proud he was of me, essentially. Saying that, I was keeping up the good work and doing the things and stuff like that. Also talking about the intro, which, that motivated me to make the intro to actually go ahead and do it and could finally finish it. But him saying that he was proud of me, I don't know why. That just hits hard. I don't get it, but it does. And it makes me value that very much. Right? Not because it's just, oh, is somebody glazing? It's not that. I hardly ever get glazed. High key. But it's just the fact that somehow I guess I mean something to somebody. I guess. And that's how I view a lot of the people that has been here on the channel, or even people that I spoke to previously and collabed with at times too. Like Alice, I value her a lot. I don't say much to her, but still I do value her. Same thing with like, Rune, even though Rune's gone and not necessarily making content anymore and stuff like that. There's a fair amount of people I do feel like there's some value there for sure. Not a lot, but there is some. And I guess obviously I don't want to lose that for sure. But I would just like to hope that I do mean something in a way, I guess. Wow, this was a therapy session now, wasn't it? I feel like pulling the jacks right now and just saying F everything. And just kind of going ahead and just pop Kinger in the face one time, which he popped himself in the episode. But still, I guess my point is just that if you're feeling this way, if you have anybody that actually cares and actually, do have some value towards you and you them, I guess, in a way, definitely reach out. Don't sit there in the loneliness like I have and been basically feel like I've been forced to. Definitely reach the hell out because shit is rough. Shit is rough. It ain't easy. It is the wackest thing on the planet. It's just not good to feel that way. And I can admit that now. I didn't think I was ever going to, but I can admit that now. I can't believe, again, Ragatha of all raggedy ass people making me admit that shit, but it's true. And one thing I was even when I was trying to explain this, basically kind of like this whole thing to my family this morning, and they still didn't understand. it's just like, are you going insane? Do no one understand you? Is what you asking for impossible? And it's not impossible. It's just, I guess, hard for people to understand. Family more so, because they think they understand you, but they don't. And it's crazy how I feel more comfortable talking about this online in front of a bunch of strangers I don't know, but has helped me in some regards, versus someone that I can speak to personally. And again, I guess maybe this is the reason why too. I'd probably like to have a lady in my life as well, a fine ass, Asian lady when it comes down to it. But maybe that's the reason why, because I want to actually just throw every. I don't want to throw everything at somebody and be just trauma dumping, right? But and it's not really even trauma dumping, but just like for someone to actually be there, I guess, and to be there back for them. Because when you carry a lot of stuff for a long time, it just builds up and then shit feels like it's impossible. And I guess that's why I've been rambling on for almost 30 minutes, because I don't have anybody to talk to, really. I don't at all. Everybody else has somebody in my life to talk to, but I don't. And it's torture for me. It's like that, VHS tape of William Afton explaining how he, does what he does in FNAF in that fan made animation or whatever. It's just like, it was hell for them, but heaven for me. Like that's what it kind of feels. Except obviously we know which way it's gonna feel like. I don't know if you will take this seriously, or anybody will take this video seriously, or even care to listen to the whole thing, or even care about me in general. Like, I know people do, but actually on that level, I would say, right? But still, I hope this video reaches the algorithm, or somebody watches it, because these type of emotions are hard to deal with. They suck, and it's not fun being in it. And when you can't really express yourself outside of just recording yourself, it makes you feel like you're going insane. And I've been going insane for the past almost 6 years. But that's just how it is, I guess. So anyway, I guess I'll just wrap it up now, for real. Good episode. Very much a close to home sort of episode for me. And just overall, probably one of the best episodes of the show. Not just with the emotional aspects, but with the gun aspects. Evil Pomni can absolutely get her ass cheeks clapped, for sure. But, it was very good. It was very much well written. I'm excited to see what the hell they will do with Jax, because Jax is going through it, even though he's not showing it. And very much his ass looking like he wants to strike high key, but hasn't done it yet. So we'll see. But yeah, again, I don't usually talk about this show, but this one episode had made me do it, because it's just how much it hit me hard emotionally, and I just really felt like talking about it, even though I feel like I probably shouldn't. But yeah, I guess that's really all I got to say for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also follow me on socials, and if you'd like to help me and donate to the channel, Kofi and Cash App is available as well. And until this, my boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.